What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's happening to the economic calendar thus far and what's happening with big earnings that are coming up very soon. Before I do anything like this, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. You deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, looking at SPY, we're seeing this thing attempting to rebound right over here, but we're going to be watching some tight resistance around this 488 range. 488 and 487.5 are two levels to watch for. We have some tight resistance right there that's slowing SPY down. So we'll have to see if this could break or not. But it is interesting to see how SPY tried to bounce right here. We're talking about a rebound. I told you to watch and see if you could reject off resistance or break above it. We got the break above it, but now we're approaching this other resistance. So I'll be watching all of this very carefully. SPY has attempted to rebound and made a nice move so far. And despite how good this move has been, there are two things I want to warn you about. Number one, watch our resistance up here. 487.5 is kind of tough. If we do break above this, there's 488, another tough resistance. We'll have to see how well SPY could hold this. My warning is that we have kind of like a head and shoulders like structure, which could be a trap. So I wouldn't necessarily solely trade based off that, but watch and see if we get a rejection or not. Now that's for the very, very short term for the next 2 hours. The next thing that's coming out is going to be something else that's very big. As a reminder, when it comes to the economic data, we had some economic data that's a little inflationary, such as manufacturing prices going up, not to mention new orders also increasing. But besides that, everything is very minor for Friday. We do have some Michigan consumer data. I'm not really seeing too much for tomorrow in terms of data, but for after the market closes for today, we do have something big that's going to shake the markets. We have Apple, Amazon, and Meta all announcing their earnings in just about 2 hours. This is going to be pivotal for the markets. We will see if SPY causes or SPY ends up getting another rug pull, or if SPY gets a big bounce. We'll just have to wait and see. Same thing for Amazon. We will see if this thing gets a rug pull or not. So we want to be very careful when looking at these earnings. They're going to be very key for how we end up trading for tomorrow. So with that being said, okay, when we're looking at SPY, this thing is kind of trading sideways. We have a head and shoulders like structure. We'll see if this pans out or not. We have the supports right here. You guys can see the levels right here based off our EMAs. But I just want to mention that, look, whether we get a rejection or not for the short term doesn't really matter as much to me. What's going to matter more is how Apple and Amazon end up doing. If these stocks launch upwards, SPY could be pushing back to the 490s. If they cause the market to get a rug pull, SPY could be making its way back down towards the low of the day. So it all depends on the big tech earnings. Unfortunately, I am not Nostradamus. I'm not some kind of fortune teller. I'm not anything like that. I don't truly know what's going to happen. So I just want to warn you to be very careful. If you're going to trade overnight, be very careful. Who knows what's going to happen with Amazon and Apple's earnings? Guidance is going to be key. So we'll wait for that. As far as Tesla goes, this is almost exactly what I predicted. I told you all that Tesla's going to pump a little bit. We might get a rejection. We're going to see lots of sideways price action in this range. That's what's been happening so far. Tesla's just kind of trading sideways in this range right here. We have resistance at 188. Above that, we have 190. And then we have support at 184. Below that, we have 182.5, followed by 180. We're kind of trading sideways, kind of stuck, not really doing much. So the question now remains, what's going to happen from here? And the answer is it's going to depend on big tech earnings. I think that Tesla's going to trade sideways in this range for the majority of the day, not really doing too much. But then we will see if Apple and Amazon cause Tesla to launch back into the 190s, push back up towards this upper resistance up here. Can we get back up to 193? Or does Tesla get the rug pull and make its way back down to 182.5? We're kind of like in the middle right now between key support and key resistance. So the best thing to do is just wait for these earnings to come out, and we will see which way Tesla goes. Otherwise, for the rest of the day, we might see Tesla kind of trading within this range, very close to this 188 area, back and forth price action is what we're going to be anticipating. So make sure you watch it very carefully, and we'll see how we end up doing. Going back to the QQQ, we have a very similar setup as that of SPY. So we can see the bulls have stepped in. They defended this thing at 416. We hit 420, got a rejection, and made our way back up. Reached 421.5 and came back. We're kind of trading sideways between 420 and 421.5. Basically, there's a lot of tightness in this range between 420 and 421.5. The QQQ tends to go back and forth in this range, and we're going to likely continue to do so for the rest of the day. However, let me just warn you all that there are 2 hours left, and we're going to see a massive move depending on Apple and Amazon. If Apple and Amazon launch the market up, the QQQ is going to be well on its way towards 423.8 plus. If we get a rug pull, we're going to be on our way back down to 416. And if 416 fails us, 412 is going to be our next target. Do I know what's going to happen? I don't know, guys. So that's why I just want to warn you. If you're holding overnight, be careful. Be careful. You never know what's going to happen with these big tech earnings. A lot of people thought that Google would have exploded after earnings. They historically tend to do well. Well, actually, Google got a rug pull. We also saw Microsoft drop a little bit. It is what it is, guys. So now, as for the QQQ, we will see how this responds to the big tech earnings. Be very careful if you're going to hold overnight. I just want to give you a warning. Be very careful, and we'll have to see how it goes. Otherwise, this thing is just going to range trade for the rest of the day, most likely. For Apple, exactly as predicted, I told you this thing is going to likely range trade in the 185 to 186.5 area. And that's all it's basically been doing, right? We pushed a little bit down, up and down, and up and down. Very, very boring stuff. So, what's going to happen to Apple is very simple. A big move is coming. A big move is coming. It's getting tight, but a very, very big move is coming very soon. It's getting tight like this because it's preparing for a massive, massive surge in volatility. If earnings come out strong, guidance is going to be key. Strong guidance is going to launch Apple into the 190s, and that's going to help the market pump. If not, if we get a rug pull, Apple's going to drag the market back down. Apple's going to fall to the low 180s, if not the 170s. This is going to be the most impactful stock alongside Amazon. I think Apple's kind of a bigger impact, so we'll be watching that very carefully. It's going to affect SPY and these other tickers very, very meticulously. So watch that carefully. We will see what happens with Apple's earnings. I can't truly predict everything. I will report on how it ends up going. So be careful, guys. If you want to hold overnight, always remember that there's going to be a big implied volatility crush. IV crush could be coming. So be careful and do what you have to do, guys, and be very careful in trying to play these stocks. For Nvidia, if we get a launch up, so in my video I said Nvidia might come down, reaccumulate, and eventually push back up. I told you we had like a cup and handle, and that's what's panning out so far. If we're bullish on Nvidia after earnings, we're going to be looking for it to try to approach the all-time high, make its way up towards 636. Well, I think it's 635 to 636. If we're bearish, if we get the rug pull, we're going to see Nvidia come all the way back down towards 612 and then 607. What do I think is going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen, guys. We'll just have to see how Apple and these other stocks do. The technicals look kind of bullish. It looks like this thing wants to push higher back into this range up here, right? Towards the 632 area. But just to be safe, I'm not going to play Nvidia. I'm not going to hold anything overnight. That's my opinion. Uh, maybe I'll hold something overnight for fun. We'll see. I'll have to decide later on that, but I just want to let you know that it's risky. You could make a ton of money if you play things right, but who knows what's going to happen with these big earnings. So the best thing to do is just remain calm, cool, and collected, manage risks accordingly. And I just want to warn you guys about that. Get ready for the big tech earnings. We will see how this affects SPY going into the after hours also for tomorrow, and get ready for Apple and Amazon and Meta to announce their earnings. Thank you for listening, guys. I might record my next video very late because I still have to wait for all of this these earnings to come out and such. And I'll see you guys very soon later on in the evening, or if not the afternoon. So have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.